Hey, Kira.
Hi,
So
Christa.
excited about you being here to have this very candid discussion with me about midlife. I put out a call, as you know, asking women that might be
Mhm.
interested in sitting down with me to have these conversations. And I was very excited that you were one of the people to do that just based upon our interactions before,
Mhm.
our shared journey of living abroad in Mexico. So I'm really excited to talk about this. And I want to just jump right in and ask you out the gate, what was the main reason why, when you saw me ask for people to sit down with me, why did you decide that you wanted to have this conversation?
Well, because I haven't really had an opportunity to talk about what I'm experiencing right now in my life,
Hmm.
and just thinking about my life overall, I'm typically doing things that are uncharted by my friends and family. So although I have like this ecosystem and support system, typically I'm the pioneer, right? I'm
Hmm.
the one that
Hmm.
goes out to try these things and explore spaces and not only just explore them, but share them in my
Hmm.
learnings and findings. But oftentimes I'm navigating new spaces and new phases of life alone. And I feel like I'm at that space now. So I've been thinking and toiling with a lot of things internally. And I even had one conversation with someone about it. But yeah, so when I saw your message, I was like, perfect.
Hmm.
Someone else that's promoting and advocating and wanting to share the space. So I think it was just the universe calling in what I've been asking for. And earlier in my life, it was something that I did not know how to vocalize or even put out. I don't want to say it was shame or uncertainty, but it was something that always held me back. And I kind of
Hmm.
just survived and did what I needed to do. But as we think
Hmm.
about midlife, where I'm calling like the second half of my life, I'm very intentional about not doing it alone because I
Hmm.
know that I have other choices and options. And if I don't have the resources or people in my space, I just send out a back signal to God, the universe, ancestors, whoever you want to call to. And I said,
Yes.
please call these things into me. And literally,
Hmm.
like a few days later, I saw your call to action and I answered.
Wow. I love that. And that's always how it goes. I feel like
Mhm,
I can echo that same sentiment in terms of what we're putting out there, what we're intending, and how the doors will open or the helpers will be there or the conversation, the divine conversations. Or so I completely agree with you on that. And I'm curious, one of the things that you said is that you have typically been doing things on your own or alone,
mhm,
and now you're at a stage in life where you don't feel the need to have to do that and that you're
no.
open to receiving. So how has that shift been for you to go from that to now saying, okay, no, I can put out what it is that I need?
It's been a bit it's been amazing. That's what I will say.
Hmm.
And I'm even learning to navigate my emotions and responses differently. I think
Hmm.
for a very long time, things would occur in my life and there was an emotion or a feeling or a reaction automatically attached to it.
Hmm.
And I think it really hijacked my nervous system. But as
Hmm.
you mentioned, we connected from moving abroad. I think the move
Hmm.
abroad and just having this level of liberation. And for the first time in my entire life, I
Hmm.
chose me first and we're doing things for me. That was very
Hmm.
disappointing for others, but I
Hmm.
had so much conviction and calm about it that I
Hmm.
really wasn't losing sleep. Right? I
Hmm.
wasn't losing sleep
Hmm.
about these decisions to
Yeah.
save my life, to
Hmm.
improve my health,
Hmm.
to do the things that best serve me.
Hmm.
And for a moment, even sometimes now, I still, vacillate between like this guilt of, dag, I should feel guilty, but I don't. Right?
Right.
I, I
Yes.
really,
Yes.
and when I tell people I don't care, they're like, you do. And I say, no. When I say I don't care, I really don't. Like it's no skin
Mm-hmm.
off my back. I'm
Right.
not thinking about it. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just me navigating and coming to like it's okay. You don't have to feel that way. You don't have to navigate that way. And I think
Mm-hmm.
my nervous system has leveled out in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes it easier for me to come into this second part of life. So when the
Yes.
same set of obstacles kind of come up, I have to remind
Mm-hmm.
myself, you're actually not overwhelmed. You
Mm-hmm.
actually
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of agency, and
Yeah.
this is where you insert your free will.
Yes.
And this is where you ask for help, and you're very
Mm-hmm.
clear in the help that you want. And it's okay if
Mm-hmm.
someone offers you help in a form that you don't want or need. You can
Yes.
say no to it
Mm-hmm.
and make
Mm-hmm.
yourself available for the help and the people that are most for you. You know,
Yes.
so
Yes. Yes.
I feel good about it. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people around me don't, but I'm having a dandy time.
Right. And that is the thing, and that is the thing that matters the most. And so do
Hmm.
you think, because as this second part of your life, do you think that you would, I guess I want to know, like, when was the shift? Because you'll hear a lot of people, women say in particular, when they arrive at midlife or they hit 40 or 50, that all of those things that were holding them back from before in terms of setting boundaries or doing things that felt good to them, regardless of what other people felt, that it's seemingly like a light switch or something just happens universally where women are like, you know what, no more, I am going to stand in my own truth regardless of how other people take it, right? So I'm
Hmm.
just wondering, like, when that shift was for you to say, okay, I'm going to live my life this way now. Because would you have been able to make the same, do you think you would have been able to make the same decision even to move to Mexico, say 10, 15 years ago?
No, I wouldn't. And I think the move was the eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with me being a mom. I'm a mom of four.
Mm-hmm.
And two of my kids are high schoolers. The other two are young adults.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that switch, having to navigate that and making the decision
Mm-hmm.
along with them and their dad for them to go back to the States while
Mm-hmm.
I continued my journey in Mexico. That was huge, a huge part of my identity, a huge part of everything I'd known.
Mm-hmm.
And it really became the first time in my life that I was only responsible for myself. I
Mm-hmm.
went, my mom passed when I was 15. And that in that moment, she initially had a stroke, but
Mm-hmm.
the day that she had a stroke was the day that I became an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been an adult since I was 15. And then I
Mm-hmm.
went from being someone's daughter to someone's mom to someone's wife. And it's just never been me.
Mm-hmm.
So the shift to Mexico and then opting for the kids to go with their dad and then having just me here. And then I found myself going to the States a lot to be available, like for them and to
Mm-hmm.
still solve things for them.
Yes.
But it was still never enough, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Jill Scott has a song that says "Hate on Me," right? She said, "If
Yes.
I give you the world on a silver platter, would
Mm-hmm.
it
Would it
even
even
matter?
matter?
You'll still be mad at me.
Yes.
If I can
Yes.
find in all of this a dozen roses and give them to you, you will still be miserable." That
Yes.
for me was
Yes.
it because I'm like, I was literally sick, blood pressure 227 over 127,
Oh my gosh.
job stressing, gaining weight, eyesight dwindling, like all of these things. And then I made a decision to say, I'm going to choose a slower pace of life where I don't have to work killing myself, where I'm not running
Mm.
around. And I
Mm-hmm.
did this, and you still weren't happy, even though it was to save me. Then I
Mm.
give everyone what it is that they want, and they
Mm-hmm.
still weren't satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I have nothing left to, like, I've given everything,
Right.
and it's
Right.
still not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, I don't think it was just like one moment, it
Mm-hmm.
was multiple rock bottom moments
Mm-hmm.
for me to know, no.
Right. No
No,
more.
this ain't it. This is
Yes.
not
Yes.
what I
Yes.
want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if I give everything, is not going to be enough.
Mhm.
So let me pour that into somebody that is going to appreciate it. And that person is me. It's me. I
Listen,
enjoy it.
listen. Yes. I think you summarized that so beautifully. I'm sure there are plenty of people that can relate to that. I love that you quoted that Jill Scott verse because it's so true. And in
Mhm.
similar vein, when you were saying that, this quote I remember coming across came to my remembrance, and it's like you could be the sweetest, juiciest peach in the world, and there will still be
Mhm.
people that hate peaches, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So seeing that, looking at yourself and realizing, okay, I'm not well. You know, my blood
Mhm.
pressure is through the roof. I am giving all of this time to my job, to my children, all of these things. When was the aha moment about moving to Mexico? Or did that just kind of come as you were having these discoveries about what you needed to change for yourself?
I think that was another accumulation. And just to fast forward, I've learned to not wait based on like these accumulative
Hmm.
processes and things. Like, I already know how this is going to end. So that's I've learned that through this journey. Just make the decision, do the shift, and that is a part of designing your ease. Your ease is going
Hmm.
through the flow and not trying to make something be what it's not. Right? It is what
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm.
Call a
Hmm.
spade, a thing, and let's move
Yeah.
on. That's ease.
Hmm.
It's not
Yes.
void of difficulty. It's just accepting things for what they are and people for who they are and
Hmm.
moving through. So even with
Hmm.
like the move, I knew it was coming and I kept telling people like I'm not okay, I'm struggling. I
Hmm.
remember using the analogy like I'm literally standing on top of a mountain screaming to the top of my lungs, help me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you all are giving me high fives saying how, you're great,
Yes.
you're inspiration. And I'm like, no,
Hmm.
I'm, struggling here. And it's not an exaggeration.
Hmm.
Um, and I did that for years. I had health things, and
Hmm.
I went to a therapist, and she was the
Hmm.
one who told me the term burnout. I had never heard that before, and asked
Hmm.
me, "Would you like for me to take you out of work?" And I'm like, "No, I have things to do."
Hmm.
So I didn't even do that.
Right.
Um, and then I remember just being really stressed. And I called my dad one day and I was like, I can't do this. And I'm just thinking about like get a new start. And what he said to me out of love, right?
Hmm.
Um, with this at the time, my son would have graduated in like 8 years. He was
Hmm.
like, oh, you just got another 8 years and you'll be fine. And when I say a cry from my belly erupted because I knew that I wouldn't make it.
Hmm.
So to
Yeah.
be in those moments and where you're crying out, and the only thing
Hmm.
people will tell you, pray about it, you're strong, you
Hmm.
can do it. I think
Hmm.
that was for me like, nobody's coming to save you. And even
Yep.
the ones that's coming to air quotes save you out of love
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
actually doing you more harm. So
Yep.
do what you have to do,
Hmm.
shut your mouth, and seek out others that have a journey like you that are able
Yes.
to aid you. And literally, I was at home sick, didn't know what was wrong, took a
Hmm.
nap, and woke up. And that's when I saw Exodus Summit. And that's when I found out about it. That was in October. In June, I had sold everything, quit my job, and moved to Mexico.
Yes. Listen. Yes. And as soon as you said that the response to you was, oh, you just have 8 more years, the first thought that I said was, says who? Like, that is not going to, and not on the path that you were going in terms of your health and the burnout. 8 years is a long time to think about having to toil in the same exact way that you have been on the edge.
I think that was my declaration. I was like, the first 40 years of my life, I
Hmm.
believe were unnecessarily hard.
Mm.
And if I'm blessed with another 40, I want to enjoy every single day. I want
Mhm,
every part of my life to be
mhm.
something that I enjoy, down
Yes.
to the clothes that I put on. Like every single piece of clothing that I put on is something that I love, that fits my body the way that I
Mhm,
want it to fit, that feels the way that I want it to feel. Every
mhm,
part of my home gives me a piece of sanity and safety from the world, right?
mhm,
Everything. The people that I
mhm,
talk to um, are my built-in safety nets that I can always show up without judgments. I've been very intentional about creating community with people that I don't
yes,
have to feel guarded, that I can just rest and be myself. And,
yes,
like I've been
yeah,
very intentional about rebuilding every part of my life. And anyone and anything that's a threat to that, you can go.
yeah, I'm right there with you. Anyone that's going to disrupt that or try to pull me from that or sway me from that, then they just don't belong in my life
Hmm.
anymore or at all if they're just now trying to come into it either.
Right.
So I'm so glad that you came to that realization. So then once you woke up from that nap, saw Exodus Summit, and you were like, okay, I'm about to do this. And then just months later, you were
Hmm.
in Mexico. So tell us a little bit more about that transition.
That's when I learned when to shut my mouth, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
um, I did share it with some friends and family, and the reaction I was getting didn't make me feel safe in my decision. And I knew
Mm.
that it was a risk.
Yeah.
Um, so what I decided to do was just identify who my board of directors were, like people who still loved me and cared about me, but were
Hmm.
encouraging of it, even if
Hmm.
they didn't understand it. And I think
Yes.
that was my realization that people can only dream and support you through their own experience or
Hmm.
to the extent in which they're able to dream. So a lot of people I just couldn't share with because they couldn't see it. They couldn't see it
Hmm.
for their own life. So how could they, support it for me?
Exactly.
So I went through going through even my social media, muting and deleting accounts and
Mm.
replacing them with accounts of people that moved abroad. Like I didn't know it was so many young Black women
Hmm.
or, just moving abroad and had a life. So I was very intentional about just curating spaces like that.
Yes.
And then finding other local people that had done it or,
Hmm.
like, so I literally called out like, hey, this is what I want to do. How did
Yes.
you do it? And from there, everything about my world, physically and online, began to shift and represent what it was that I desired.
Hmm.
Um, and let me see if I can say this right. It's a girl I follow. She said, speak what you seek until you see what you say, right?
Mm. Speak what you see.
So
You see what you say. Yes. Okay.
So I wrote that on a post-it and put that in
Hmm.
my bathroom and just kept on saying, speak what I seek until I
Hmm.
see what I say. Right. And
Mm.
that's just my world just began to evolve
Hmm.
and everything shifted. So that's how
Yeah.
the move kind of just became possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I leaned to. And I took a lot of leaps and
Mm-hmm.
just prayed. And then I reminded myself how I had done something similar with little to no money, no experience, no wisdom. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you got a little piece of money, more
Yeah.
wisdom, and a little bit more sense.
Yes.
You're going to be just
Yes.
fine.
Yes. Absolutely. And I believe you and I had talked about this when we finally did meet. A lot of similarities, even in our own journeys coming to
Mhm,
Mexico. In the same way, I was very intentional about who I told, about what I was going to do. And I held a lot of things close to my chest. So it wasn't, and it was also a short period of time, like from, I think I started researching in August of 2022, and then I was here in Mexico City in July of 2023. So
mhm,
it was, much like yours, very quick, very that knowing. of,
Mm-hmm.
I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And then I just charted that course in the same way that you did. And I think that's such a beautiful roadmap, a roadmap for anyone that might be listening and is really feeling that call and that pull to make a change, and is really just like, okay, first start with the decision. And I believe that once you start with the decision, then the universe opens up and the
Yeah.
path and the people and the resources start to open up, which you just beautifully illustrated.
But it was amazing, even from that transition into now, because I've had an opportunity to speak on a lot of platforms, big,
Hmm.
small, just across for people. And for me, sometimes it just seems so simple, like black and white. Like I say, it just starts with the decision.
Hmm.
I am a bit more decisive person, right?
Hmm.
I like what I
Hmm.
like, I know what I know, and that's it. And that's what I kind
Yeah.
of just move in. It's been interesting to speak with and meet so many people,
Hmm.
more specifically Black women. That's been who I've been connecting with and aligning with more,
Hmm.
that don't have that level of decisiveness in the
Mm.
confidence or even
Hmm.
permission. They don't give themselves permission to
That part.
decide,
That
right?
part.
So that's what I would say if you're still struggling with that. Like, give yourself permission to dream and give yourself
Hmm.
permission to like make the decision, and things will work out. Now, I'm not saying just be
Yes.
careless. You still gotta,
Hmm.
operate in a level of integrity and wisdom, and
Hmm.
have some people to reality test it. And my wife, we struggle with this. The word no. Before I
Mm.
accept like a N-O, for me,
Hmm.
it's always K-N-O-W, right? So if it's a
Ooh.
no, what don't I know for you to say yes, or for me to
Okay,
get a
wait, hold on,
yes?
hold on. We gotta let this
Yeah.
breathe. We gotta let this breathe because this I love this concept.
If it's a no, then I assess what don't I know. If I saw it, if it was given to me, then it's mine, right?
Hmm.
It starts
Hmm.
in my thinking. It's mine. How do
Hmm.
I get it? So if I went this way and it was a no, well, what don't I know? Who don't I
Mm.
know? Right?
Mm.
What else do I
Mm.
need to know to say that this is an actual NO in my discovery and leaning through curiosity, right? To figure
Mhm.
out how to uncover the yes, I then know more information. So I become wiser and I continue to trek to get my yes. That was just that no, no, that wasn't the right path. Now I know something else, or I know someone else. I'm
Mm.
going to do something different until I get where I want. Like, that's just how I am. You say no, okay, why not? It's not that I'm challenging you. You have to tell me where I went wrong. So that's
Mm.
me asking for feedback. That's me asking for clarity. That's me asking to learn, to grow, and to be able to mature. Was it something I did? Did I not
Mm.
ask the right questions? Am I
Mhm.
not properly prepared? If
Yes.
those are things that I can control. I can
Mm.
control that. I can
Yeah.
do those things. I'm capable of those things. So
Mhm.
once I do those things, if it's still not a yes, then what else don't I know? Are you not the right person? So who should I know? And that's just how I operate in my life. So I tend to have everything that I want, right? I People usually equate that to material things, but really in life, I get what I want because I don't take no for an answer.
Cue the Holy Ghost run. Like literally cue the Holy Ghost run. That literally was such a word,
Mhm,
Kira.
mhm,
And so for me, again, it starts with first, give yourself permission to dream,
mhm,
and that it's okay to transition, to do a new thing, to be what you've always wanted to be, even in this stage of life. Because I think that's kind of like also the thing that a lot of people can get caught up in is this idea of what they think their life should look like at this stage.
mhm,
And if it doesn't, there's some sort of failure associated with that. And then to me, all of which you detailed is then being solution
Mhm.
oriented and thinking about what is possible versus what are the barriers. And so,
Yeah.
do you feel that that philosophy is something that came along with you giving yourself this permission to live your life more aligned and authentically to what you wanted, regardless of what other people were thinking or feeling? And also the move to Mexico, do you think that that came a part of that, or that's always been part of your belief system, but came more into view as you made this transition?
I think I've had to mature into it. It came out of lack of emotional support. As I mentioned earlier, my mom initially got sick and then she passed
Mhm.
away. So that age 15 to 16, where I was thrust into this adulthood.
Yes.
And from then, it's like everyone just assumed that I would know these things, especially with the magical turning of 18. Like, you should know.
Mm.
And I kept telling people, I have no freaking clue, right?
Mhm.
But it's
Mhm.
always, you go figure it out, right? You figure
Yeah.
it out. So it was birthed in a place of survival because I
Mm.
didn't have any other choice. You have to figure it out. So
Mhm.
as I've grown in life
Mhm.
and figured out things, I've just learned to mature my thinking around it to
Mhm.
say, how can I use this skill that was birthed in me really learning to survive? How can I
Mhm.
use it to help evolve my life and
Mhm.
actually call into my life the things that I want? So I don't have to
Yeah.
operate in that. In my discovery and curiosity, I saw there were other people out here getting it and wasn't
Yeah.
struggling as hard. So how do I get
Right.
that? It was
Right.
just the curiosity and leaning into it and that skill set that I once had to literally use to like figure out my day to day. I've
Mhm.
used it to navigate and design a life that I want.
I love that you have gotten to experience in your life moving this way
Mhm.
from that place rather than survival. Because I
Mhm.
can only imagine the difference that that even feels
Mhm.
moving from a place that's not tied to survival.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So you're in Mexico,
Mhm.
you're in this phase of life. What has surprised you the most about both of those things? About being in midlife in this phase and being in Mexico?
What has surprised me most is how much I enjoy my solitude. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it's just the resting of like my soul, like me just finally putting my bags down. But I
Yes.
really enjoy this space. And coming, I thought, especially once my kids went back, I
Mm-hmm.
thought, "Oh, I'm gonna get out and go and do these things." But I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy like being myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I still have a healthy balance of, meeting people and exploring different things. But
Mm-hmm.
just getting back to the basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to sit and read a book in one sitting. Like I will get lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I think helps for people that are listening, in my opinion. It helps, it feeds your brains in terms of learning how to dream because you're reading these books and you have these discoveries and these alternate lives and you're reading
Yes.
about and I'm like, oh, well, what can I do with my life? Right.
Yes.
So just it
Yes.
just it just teaches me to dream. So I think those are the things that I've discovered. And even deeper on that
Mm-hmm.
was the realization that I was finally in my feminine energy.
Okay.
Right.
Break that down a
Because
little
I'm
bit more.
very masculine energy, and people hear that like, but you're so dainty. But I am very like, take charge.
Okay.
No, this is what we're doing, what we
Mm-hmm.
gotta do. Like that's just,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that was birth from the lack that I've had.
Mm.
So I think when coming to Mexico and releasing myself of that, and the only person that I had to concern myself with and worry about if they were pleased was me. Oh,
Yes.
I'm all into my feminine. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, yes, I need help. Thank you.
Right.
Like,
I
Yes,
love it. I
please.
love it.
Like, oh yes, please help me. I'm so
Yes.
dainty,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's been beautiful. And I'm like, oh, this is what the girl's been doing. I
This.
really like it.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
it. Take care of me, please.
Le-
So
okay.
designing ease initially was birthed out of my life, like building this tough, hard life based on what was told of me, right? I'm a
Mm-hmm.
preacher's kid, so I did everything. I
Mm-hmm.
got married, I had the kids, I
Mm-hmm.
went to college, I did all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew since I was 12 I was gay, but I still married a man.
Mm.
I knew that I
Wow.
really, yeah. Still
Okay.
married a man. I went through that, just because of things. Again,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to satisfy these life and these stories, these parallel, right? This universe that was told
Yes.
to me that I was supposed to do. So I did that. Even,
Yes.
um, having children, I knew like, oh, I don't think this is in my cup, but I did not did it once, twice, four times, right?
Yes.
Thinking like it was going to get easier and I was going
Mm-hmm.
to have that, but I really had to learn that
Mm-hmm.
mothering, that nurturing. But it was never a desire. When kids, when the girls were young, they was thinking about getting married and having kids. I was thinking about traveling the world. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
always used to daydream about the end of my life, it never had a
Mm-hmm.
man in it. And I thought it was
Mm.
because um and that was because I was just going to have some good friends and maybe I would never get married. No,
Yeah.
it's because I was gay. You
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So it's like I built this life and I said that I had built this prison because I did all of those things and I ended up getting
Mm-hmm.
divorced. Of course, I have my beautiful kids. I
Mm-hmm.
really leaned into motherhood and what that meant, right?
Yes.
Learning that navigating, right? Like I don't know what
Right.
I'm doing. What do I need to know?
Right.
Um, I think once I kind of got to my breaking point and I realized that I'm doing all these things, I bought the house, I had the
Mm-hmm.
fancy car, I get the six, like I'm doing all of this,
Yes.
and I am not happy.
Mm.
And it's taken so much out of me to
Mm-hmm.
keep these things that y'all told me I was supposed to have. And if I had these things, I would be happy. You told me if I bought this house, it would somehow make me this better mother, how I'm setting up this wealth for my family. You told
Mm-hmm.
me that if I get this corporate job with this fancy title, that I'm supposed to have this nice Mercedes truck. You told me that I'm supposed
Mm-hmm.
to get married and have these. All of this stuff is a lot of maintenance, a lot of money, and it's draining the hell out of me.
Mm.
I don't want it. I don't want
Yes.
any of it. So
Yes.
designing ease came from me saying, your blood pressure is high as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You are house poor because you keep investing in this house. You
Mm.
are not happy.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it? And
Yes.
that's where I'm like, I'm about to design a life that feels good to me. And I don't give a
Mm.
damn what anybody else has to think about it. Yeah.
Right.
So, of course, I still have my beautiful kids. I'm married to a woman.
Yes, yes. Because listen, trust and believe we were going to make that pivot because I certainly was going to ask about that.
No.
Really ask about that along the lines of how to be in partnership and also be in solitude. So, because you had mentioned how solitude is very important to you, just kind of what that looks like in terms of having your own agency, even within partnership, what that looks like. But first, I have to say that I am so incredibly happy for
Mm-hmm.
you and to have come to that realization and looked around and been like, y'all sold me this. Y'all sold me this set of circumstances or the life that I was supposed to have, and that story is so prevalent. And that's why I push so fiercely against that lie and that idea that when people get to a certain point in their life and they realize what they've been living is nothing designed by them and they want to do something else, that it is labeled as a midlife crisis
Mm-hmm.
versus a midlife catharsis, a midlife awakening, a midlife I'm finally going to live the life that I've been wanting to all of this time. It's so important that we make that distinction. I really just believe it's about people finally coming into their truth and being brave enough to walk in it. And you are a
Mhm.
living, breathing example,
Mhm.
beautiful example of that. And I'm so glad you found your way here.
So that's how designing ease came. Like I said, I'm like, those first 40 were rough. I'm about to ball out these next 40.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
And then some things I look back and I thank my younger self, like even with the no versus knowing, right? That's something that young Kira cultivated. I could have allowed a lot of that stuff to break me, but
Yes.
just learning how to navigate uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
with ease, with the
Mm-hmm.
level of confidence, with the
Mm-hmm.
level of knowing like it's hard now, but I'm going to come out on top, right?
Yes.
That set me up now for success. And again, my ability to dream and think bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, what do I want this next part of my life to be? And I think that's
Yeah.
where your free will and the agency come in. And I literally design every part of my life. Like if I don't like it, I switch it. I'm not
Yes.
so attached to things. I'm more so attached to how I feel in any
Yes.
given moment. And if
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel good to me, then I release myself of it. And I know I'll be okay. And it makes
Yeah.
life really interesting. And I know um, sometimes people struggle with that in terms of their sense of stability. But what's
Mm-hmm.
stable throughout all of this is me.
So then tell me then, because like I said, I was going to get into your business a little bit anyway. So I'm really curious though, at being married, remarried now at this stage of your life to a woman
Mhm.
to which you've always known about yourself that you were gay. And then the other part of this question is how do you make sure that you continue to hold on to your own identity even with partnership?
So, like walking in my truth, like I said, I knew when I was younger, and then I went through this whole like bisexual phase, and again,
Mm-hmm.
not really having people around me, I just didn't know what life would be, how to navigate that. So I took the route that was presented to me,
Mm-hmm.
but was secretly date women, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So it when I finally made the decision, like I'm not dating another man, like ever.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's just I'm not gonna go through that. I'm done. I'm
Yes.
over with it. Felt relief.
Mm.
It just really felt like I had a weight was lifted off of me.
Yes.
And then the funny part about it, I told my family, and one of my cousins was like, "Girl, we been knew that. I was surprised that you." She was like, "I was surprised that you kept having babies and got married." she
It's
did.
hilarious.
She did say, thinking of the circumstances and how we grew up, and Southern
Mm.
Bible Belt, preacher's kid.
Yes.
Like she saw, but she was like, "I'm
Mm-hmm.
so happy that you." Um, have come into your own, because when I was younger and that happened, of
Yeah.
course they pray the gay out of you.
Yes.
um so it was
Mm.
just a different life, she said. But even with our family, that our family has matured in thinking and have
Mm-hmm.
become inclusive of that. We still have a few family members that aren't necessarily I think they're tolerating but not accepting. And I understand that people have their own journeys and you have to allow
Mm-hmm.
them to have their own journey. So I
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
limit my interaction and I'm okay with that. They're not, but I'm okay because I'm
Yes.
protecting what I have. And then in terms of partnership, I'm very happy because my wife, at the time we were dating, supported my entire journey, helped me move and pack up my house when I was in Atlanta coming to Mexico. Um, at one point, I went back to get my car and bring it to Mexico. Drove 5 days with me, to
Mm-hmm.
come.
Yeah.
Is the only person that has ever visited me. So we navigated long distance relationship for a very long time. We even got married in this her there and I'm in Mexico. So that's just been the basis of
Yeah.
us understanding that we're coupled and
Mm-hmm.
partnered, and
Mm-hmm.
that we are navigating each like being a built-in support system as we both navigate our own journeys through life. So she has a journey, I have a journey, and it's just going through that, knowing that I got people. So wherever that takes me, then she supports it. It doesn't, again, designing ease doesn't, it's not a void of difficulty. So there are
Mhm.
times, of course, in any distance relationship that you have
Mhm.
to navigate the longing, the wanting. You want to be with your person every day.
Yes.
But I think it's
Yes.
just the mutual respect of I understand why you're doing this and
Mhm.
I love you enough to have that space there for you to do that. And whenever you're
Mhm.
ready, I'm here. And in whatever capacity I want that you need to be supported, I'll support you. So I think I'm very fortunate. And I think I've been blessed in that way because I've decided
Mhm.
to honor who I am. And again,
Yes.
just call out to say, God, bring me this. This is what I need.
Mhm.
Um, and then most importantly, giving me the wisdom to
Mhm.
recognize when it's there and
Mhm.
the skill set to keep the blessing that you're going to give me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And just like you said, it goes exactly in line with how you have been intentional about creating this chapter of your
Mhm.
life.
She's even navigating, I guess, is through witnessing my journey so intimately has
Mhm.
inspired her to look at things a bit differently. So
Mhm.
she's in the process of unlearning and learning a lot of new things. And I remember when she initially started the journey,
Mhm.
I said, well, I can't wait to get to know who you become. And
Yes.
I'm just down for getting to know her. And
Mm.
the more I know her and the more I learn and the more she uncovers, it just makes me love her more. That's just where we are. So who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know, but we just have decided we're each other's people. You're my
Y-
person, I'm your person, and let's
Yes.
figure this rock it out and figure this thing out.
I
Yeah.
love everything about that. So I think it's so beautiful that you both have given each other that space to do and be what to do and be what you all need for yourselves in order to really continue to strengthen the bond that you have with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do you see for yourself in this next chapter of life? What have you yet
Mm.
to uncover or do that you know that you want to?
I still want to travel and see the world, right? I still
Mhm.
want to be a nomad. I think the initial move was a taste of that. And yes, I travel a lot, but I
Mhm.
do want to go through my nomadic period. So that's
Mhm.
ahead. And I'm looking forward to like growing older and being wise counsel. My family is very unique. My mom passed at 51, so I know most
Mhm.
people celebrate their 50th birthday, but I'm having a
Mhm.
whole big shebang at 52, right?
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
so,
So are we going to get a
uh-huh.
little bit of a taste of what it is that you plan to do at
I
52?
don't I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just know it's going to be a big party, a big celebration.
Mhm.
And I think that was also too a part of my like quest to want to change things. For a
Mhm.
very long time, I didn't think that I would live past 50. Most the oldest member of my family is I think my brother or maybe my cousin, and they're just like right at 60 years old, right?
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
there's no wise counsel. So what I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to is
Mhm.
being wise counsel,
And that you
right? To
are.
be
I can
older.
attest that it's you are walking in that.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's why, I'm looking forward to sitting back and, 70, 80 years old and telling the kids how, I was in the Sahara Desert or I did this or the
Mm.
time I lived in Mexico or the time that I drink water from the fountain in Italy. I just want to tell the story. And I'm looking forward to and what I've been calling in and finally getting my self permission to feel
Mhm.
is I'm looking for a mother, like a maternal figure.
Mm. Okay.
It's just that's something that I haven't had.
Yeah.
in over 30 years. And I've
Mm-hmm.
never given myself permission to even want it. I
Mm-hmm.
felt bad or guilty for it. But in
Mm-hmm.
this season of my life, I am looking for a maternal figure to
Okay.
love on me so that I can rest.
And that you will have.
Yeah, I want
And that you will
that.
have.
I
I
think I'll
I
make a really good daughter to who's ever out there. I just
listen.
need that mother to like be there, you know, just I don't know, that wise counsel, just
Mm-hmm.
the fact in knowing that I have. And
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had that.
Yes.
I don't even know what that feels like. And that's something that I want to experience in this
Yes.
season of my life. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that I'm so open to receive
Mm-hmm.
that in a way that probably would not have been appreciated if I had had my mom this entire time.
Very
So
interesting.
I've
Why do you
been
wait? Why do you
really,
say that? Can I ask why you say that?
I think sometimes even if you have the best mom and you all have the best relationship, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what it feels like to not have that.
Yes. True.
So to kind of see that and kind of know that it's out there and knowing
Mm-hmm.
that at one point I had it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I get to call it in and choose it with intention and with the greatest extent of love. And it's not out of an obligation of like, I birthed you, but that I
Right.
chose you and we chose each other. I think it's a
Yes.
different level of appreciation that comes from that.
That's
So it's not
beautiful.
like you're replacing, it's a
Mm-hmm.
addition to that. I've had somebody that
Mm-hmm.
loved me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they
Mm-hmm.
birthed me, of course, and loved
Yes.
me greatly and deeply. But now
Yes.
someone else that's choosing, and we're choosing to love
Mhm.
that deeply with each other.
That shall arrive for you just in the way that you have so beautifully crafted and spoken into
Yeah.
existence. So many beautiful things in your life at this point. There is absolutely zero reason why this is not going to be added to the pot. So, traveling the world, the mother figure, what would you say to a 25-year-old that feels anxious about aging? What advice would you give her?
Um, don't rush it. Just enjoy where you are now,
Hmm.
right? Um, be thoughtful in caring for yourself to set your
Hmm.
future self up for success, whether
Hmm.
that is um, taking care of your mental health by
Hmm.
incorporating practices that help you, whether that's breathing, yoga, 8 hours of sleep. You
Hmm.
are caring for your future self to make the aging process a more beautiful process for you.
Hmm.
Um, Making sure that you are caring for yourself financially. That's
Hmm.
how you are going to reduce a lot of the anxiety of aging, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
for every $5, $10 you put away, your 50, 60-year-old self is saying, thank you,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yes.
Um, and then even um 25 self, if you're wanting to ease the anxiety, exploring, trying new things, figure out what you like and don't like, and if you don't like none of it, nix it all until you
Yeah.
find the things that you like and
Hmm.
continue to fill your life with the
Hmm.
things that you enjoy, so your future self won't know what the lack is, what lack feels like.
Amazing. And in the same
Mhm.
vein, is that the same type of advice you would give young 25-year-old Kira or something different? What would you say to her?
Young 25-year-old Kira was married with 2 kids. And I would say, girl, stop now. Stop now. Go
Yes.
ahead and enroll in school because that by that time I had dropped out of college twice. I ended up, getting 2 degrees now, but I did it
Mhm.
after the divorce, right? Because
Mm.
it wasn't a welcome thing in that marriage. But had I
Okay.
stopped that marriage when I knew I was supposed to stop that marriage, I probably would have
Mm.
got it sooner. So
Okay.
25-year-old Kira, cut it now.
Okay.
Girl, you know
Yes.
you gay. Don't keep suppressing
Right.
it. Go ahead and go to school for what it is you want to go to school for.
Yes.
And your life abroad, don't delay it. because even then I knew I would do it, but I always thought I would do it when I retired. So don't
Mm,
delay it. Like, do it then. While the
right.
kids were young, right?
Mm-hmm.
This way
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't eject. They were young. They were too young to say no. Right?
Right.
So do
Right.
it then.
Right. You coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like you ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I would tell 25-year-old Kira.
Kira, wow. This has been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for
Yes.
sitting down with me and being so candid and open about your story and your experience. And I know that it is really going to resonate with people that come across this chat. And, I really, my hope is that if you are watching that, it is something that takes root within you. And I always say, if you're feeling the prodding or you have the idea, the path is already laid. It's just like
Mhm.
Kira said, it's about giving yourself permission and then just taking that first initial step. So, Kira, thank you. Now, before we officially wrap, two more two more pieces of business to conduct. That is your final part. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way. So I want to do our quick little rapid fire at the end of
Okay.
these chats. I like to have a quick little cute rapid fire session of this or that, and then I just would want you to close us out with just some final pieces of wisdom. Does that
Okay.
work? Okay.
Hmm.
So, go go or house music?
Go go.
Okay, I was about to say, because I know you got some
I'm
DMB,
DMV.
some
DMV. Go
DMB of
go.
you. I want to make sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Night owl or early riser?
Night owl.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. Are you a drinker at all? Do you drink
Yeah.
casually? Okay. So mezcal or tequila?
Tequila.
Okay. And summer or fall?
Fall.
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 Yeah.
Autumn. Autumn.
Autumn. Autumn. Yeah, so that's my favorite. That's my favorite season too. I'm right there with you. Okay. So before we officially wrap, any closing words?
um, yeah, I suppose I can come up with some. But
As I
I
put you
don't
on the
know.
spot.
It's so
Yes.
much. We had a really great conversation. And I love the non-midlife crisis. So I think this is just my call to action to everyone to really be intentional about finding the things that give them the most joy and peace. You can start small, right, with
Mhm,
the things that you want to see and experience every day. And
mhm,
even with the small adjustments, eventually you'll have every part of your life that
mhm,
is curated, handpicked by you, so that you
mhm,
really do have a life that's designed of ease or a life of ease, and that's special for you.
mhm,
And then just enjoy every part of your life, right? So if
mhm,
you're in this mid part of your life,
mhm.
this is the part to turn it up,
This is the
live it
time.
aloud, be
Yes.
bold, right? And
Mhm.
do what you do with that adult money. It's yours. This is the
Listen.
time.
This is the time, and don't let
This is the
anybody tell you
time.
different. I think that is wonderful. I, of course, echo those sentiments. Again, thank you so much, Kira. I will be sure to have all of Kira's information in the description below. I highly recommend, if it wasn't enough for you just to experience her yourself, to know that you should be following her. So many wonderful nuggets of wisdom that she imparted today and does always on her social media. So make sure you check her out. And thank you for joining us. And also, please let us know in the comments what major takeaways that you had in this conversation. We definitely want to hear from you. Kira, thank you again. And I will see everyone on the next Candid with Christa.